Loveline is intended for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content, and listener discretion is advised. Listen safely for a better tomorrow from K-Rock.
Yes, and it's 106.7 K-Rock, KROQ. Dr. Drew, I actually thought I was on time, and you started the show 2 minutes early, didn't you?
Yeah, where were you?
I was in the other room. It
Sure
wasn't
you were.
I, Jimmy D.C.
You were.
I actually was.
Cool out.
Now, Brian, you're supposedly bringing Brian Eno in, and the funny thing is, Brian Eno's so afraid of what may happen on this show that they've conveniently arranged through his record company to have him leave an hour early because they're afraid that another Paul Weller would happen because they realize
Instead, it's going to be another Phyllis Diller.
Right.
So explain to him about Paul Weller's situation.
But the thing is I wanted to explain, my whole thing is that, I mean, I respect Brian Eno, just like I respect Paul Weller, but the thing about Paul Weller is he wanted to borrow an hour to play music, and he wouldn't talk to the callers, and I just felt that, you know, it's like going to one of his concerts and sitting on stage right next to him, and in the middle of the concert just walking out, you know? Because, I mean, this is almost like our concert. That's the whole thing, you know?
The Brian man is not going to pull that tonight.
I think Brian will be awesome. I mean, believe me, I hope nobody thinks that I'm just slagging all musical artists, but I admit I don't know a lot about music. I'm not like Lewis down the hall who knows everything. But I mean, a lot of people don't realize, you know, a lot of people don't even know Brian. I mean, a lot of our older K-Rock listeners realize who he is, but a lot of the younger ones don't realize he produced 3 U2 albums, that he was a talking head, that he was in Roxy Music. I mean, the guy's a legend of music, so, you know, I respect that. And, you know, I just want to let you know.
Okay.
You know,
he's on his way. He's driving here from Santa Monica.
Okay.
He supposedly left at 9.
But, Dr. Drew, before we get to the calls, I do want to get pissed off at one record company. Epic Records, you know, Patricia Bach, who, you know, books a lot of the lesser-known Epic bands. But I'm not slagging him. Epic's a great record label. And we want to get Pearl Jam on before Lollapalooza. So we've made repeated calls to her office, haven't we, Ann? And a lot of our listeners, I know a lot of you out there would love it if Eddie from Pearl Jam was on the show. They have 2 days off before Lollapalooza. So if anybody knows Patricia Bach at Epic, please have her return our call. And I think she owes it to our listeners to get Pearl Jam on.
Demand the job.
We demand it. No, you know, but it's, seriously, Patricia, you know, we've helped you out. So, you know, get us, at least even by a phone call. I'd love, you know, a lot of people have asked us if we'd have Pearl Jam on the show, and that's what we'd like.
Wasn't she somehow responsible for that travesty we had on Monday night?
Oh, Greg Anderson. Did you hear our show Monday night when we self-destructed right on the air? It was horrible. Not only did we talk about our own personal problems, but we also, what else did we do? We
had the worst.
Yes.
I just want to say 2 things. Hi, it's Lewis.
This is
Patricia Bach is really cool. She's like awesome. She's a great person.
No, she is.
And that's all I just want to say.
Right, but I'm not
I
saying
just want to say that it's really great that you spend 10 minutes of the show and like don't do love problems.
Well, we don't have our guest either.
Well, so what? It's never stopped you before.
Right, but what's wrong with just asking if we can have Pearl Jam?
Isn't it
on the
great having
show?
a lame duck music director?
Yeah, exactly. A guy who,
to
his very last day, he gets hired as music director of MTV, and he keeps giving me crap. I broke this guy into the business. He doesn't even say thank you. And he just sits there to the very last drop, starts slagging on me.
But you know what?
You slagging everybody else.
No, I don't.
If you got a dish, you got to take.
Dude, I have never slagged on you.
Gentlemen.
You are
Dude.
not to your face, anyway.
Oh my God! Oh, you're killing me.
You know what? We should have Lewis sit in there and answer some calls. Honestly, Lewis, I'm going to miss you. I mean, this guy started out, what was it, in '86 here at K-Rock, and I always knew the guy.
Are you getting violins on you?
No, but I always flash back to the days when Scott Mason was on the show, and he used to be yelling at you to get coffee and empty the trash.
Or empty the trash.
At 3 in the morning.
I remember when I did my first air shift on K-Rock, it was the all-nighter show, and I hated staying up all night, and we had a carpet that I probably got a disease from, and I would like lay down and go to sleep, and you would run the control board while I slept with my face on the K-Rock carpet.
Poor man, I don't think it was the carpet where you got that disease. Sorry.
Anyway, Lewis, so when do you start at MTV?
Can we do some calls? Nobody cares about when I start or do anything.
There's
Nobody
a lot
cares.
of bands out there go, hey, Lou, good buddy. Hey,
bro.
Got this great video, dude. Anyway, congratulations, guy.
Thanks, dude.
Okay, let's...
Loveline.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Candace, 19 from Orange. Candace?
Yeah?
You're on Loveline.
Oh, and now I'm off.
And here's Brian Eno is here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, everybody, I'll tell you what. If you're calling in, you got to wish Lewis the best. You know.
Oh, I wish you the best, Lewis.
Did you hear that, Lou?
Thanks.
This guy's Brian. How are you?
Hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
Very well,
Come,
thank
we're
you.
right on the air. Just sit down. Here we are.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, he doesn't have his headset
Oh yeah, you
on
got to
yet.
put on the headset here. Somebody just said hi to you. A girl named Candace. Our music director is going to MTV to become music director of MTV. The guy who just walked out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
MTV's really great.
So Brian Eno is here, and first of all, I just want to say that it's an honor to have you on the program. And you know, I don't know a ton about music, but I know enough to know that you produced, what is it, the last 3 U2 albums? Is that what?
Oh, my goodness.
Is that right?
3 of the last 4.
3 of the last 4.
Yes.
So you've made some fairly nice royalty money.
I'll bet.
Is it tough? Well, just starting with that, is it tough to deal with U2, the fact they've had so much success? Are their egos still down to earth, or is it? I mean, is it delicate to deal with bands that have achieved so much success?
It's not delicate to deal with them. They're very easy to deal with. They're not at all egotistical, and they make a joke about most of their success in a way.
Really? So is it all the other crap, like the stuff around the band? You know, like just
No,
the
there
business?
isn't any crap actually.
Really?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's very pleasant working with them.
Oh, good. No, I'm just curious because we don't know. None of us know him. You also were a member of the Talking Heads, is that right? For a while?
No, I wasn't. I did 3 records with them as well.
That you produced.
Yes.
And
that's
we
right.
also know that one of our top 500 flashbacks that we're going to be playing is your song "Babies on Fire." That we.
Oh, really?
I'm sure it is. That was a big hit here on K-Rock.
Oh, I like that song.
And a little bit more history. You've also done, Phyllis. I mean, you've done a lot of producing, right?
Mhm.
And now you have your own a new CD out. Is that right? That we're going to be playing tonight.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know anything about this show? Have you heard about this show?
I'm fascinated by this show. Yes, I've never heard it, but I've heard
Right.
about it. Yeah.
I guess what was so funny is, and you didn't even know this, Dr. Drew, they scheduled Brian for an hour on the show because they were worried that the Paul Weller situation would reoccur.
Could it be they're frightened of you?
Yes, I think they are. But I just wanted to tell you that I'm respectful of all musical acts. Sometimes my musical knowledge is not great, but I apologize for that
Sometimes.
all the time. So basically,
What did you do to Paul Weller then?
here's what we got off on the wrong foot because Dr. Drew is a medical doctor, my partner, and he kind of brings the sort of serious edge to this show, and I'm sort of like a loose spirit. I was by myself with Paul Weller, and I wanted people to call in with their grossest sexual experience, and he first of all didn't like that. Then number 2 is
Can you imagine that he wouldn't enjoy that? I was just poor man. I mean, I don't understand why somebody would be offended by that.
No, I mean that's what we all came for.
What?
What did you say that he was offended by?
But who?
The kind of calls he was promoting.
No. He starts off by playing the Wonder Stuff, doing a version of That's Entertainment, which is a song that Morrissey covered that we actually played a lot. And he goes, "Hey, that's really great. The Wonder Stuff doing a Morrissey song." And Paul Weller just sits there and goes, "Oh my God."
Yeah, that's true. That the song "That's Entertainment," I did not know that Paul Weller wrote that song. I didn't, but I bet you. You know what though, Lewis? In all honesty, how many of our listeners probably didn't know that either?
Well, I didn't.
Thank you, the great Brian Eno. But I mean, why should he be so offended? But
Now
so,
it's 15 minutes into the show, and we haven't had a single Loveline call.
But anyway, so that was the misunderstanding. And then when he came on the show, he just wanted to play his music, and he didn't want to talk to the callers, and that was kind of making me uncomfortable because that's what our show's about, you know.
Candace,
Yeah?
Anyway, so
just want to make sure our listeners are still there.
okay, Candace.
Our listener. How do you know this more
If we
than
lose
her?
her, yeah.
So anyway, well, we're going to play your new CD tonight, and I welcome you to the show. And this is Candace, 19 from Orange. Why don't you tell Brian Eno your love problem on 106.7 K-Rock?
Well, okay, I want all of you guys' opinion, but this is more directed to Dr. Drew.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've been dating this guy for about a month,
Yeah.
and I really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you know, we started to enter a sexual relationship, and, you know, we'd have, you know, normal sex, so to speak, but then it's like he wanted to be more the female.
What do you mean?
Well,
And you know, anatomically speaking.
No. Wait.
No.
Let her express herself here.
How could he be the female?
well, what I'm saying is he liked me to dress up in, like, boxer shorts, and then he would put on like lingerie and things.
So it really is a dress-up thing.
Yeah, and
That's pretty normal in England, I must say.
well,
No, I'm not kidding.
Really?
That isn't unusual.
really?
For men to dress up in the women's clothes?
Sure.
Really?
I made a career of it, after all.
Is that right? That's sort of a turn-on to switch the roles?
Well, I don't want to interrupt
No, go ahead.
Candy,
Please,
but,
go ahead.
but that isn't unusual. I mean, there's
Have
quite a tradition of role switching, and
have you personally ever done
Sure.
that? You have?
Yes.
You dressed up like a woman?
yes,
Wow. See, I like you already on this show. This is good.
I don't think that's embarrassing, and I don't think it's embarrassing to want to. I mean, what really is at stake there, I think, is changing from the control to the surrender position, probably, because the traditional idea is that the man takes the control position and the woman the surrender position. But it's nice to switch those roles around sometimes.
Candace, are you comfortable with that?
Well, I mean, I like to be treated like a woman, and he likes me to, like, strap on, like, fake penises and things.
Really?
And
That's
like,
what I was just about to ask you. Does he makes you strap one on?
Yeah,
And then does he want you to use it
yeah.
in his,
In his rectal region, yeah.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What do you think about that? Is that normal in England too, Brian, would you say?
Well, it's not unusual, really. I mean, I can see how it's rather shocking to someone if you haven't encountered it before, and you might not want to do it yourself.
Well,
That's also understandable. You don't have to want to do everything, but I think I can understand and sympathize with the psychology of it,
So I mean, because I can't imagine, Brian, myself, and I'm a traditional sexual guy when I can get it. Usually it's my right hand that's my friend. But
usually.
how do you know, Candace?
You talk about it most of the time.
Yeah, every night. Gee,
Yeah.
we had to use our imagination for it.
But I mean, I can't imagine a lot of guys would want the woman to strap one on and do that. But you think so, Brian?
Well, I think the transsexual is a very erotic idea. This is a new hybrid, the idea of someone who's half woman and half man, so who has the control element of a man with the sexuality of a woman. It's attractive, I think. I mean, I should let the doctor speak because it's you she wants to speak to.
Well, no,
Sorry.
your
Well,
opinion.
I want everybody's opinion, but I want to know if...
Candace, I'm with you though. To me, I would be kind of shocked. But have you actually had that type of situation, Brian, yourself?
No, I've never wanted to have sex in my arse.
Right.
Am I allowed to say that on the air? Sorry.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
I never wanted to do that, but I do think transsexuals are exciting.
You mean the cross-dressing type thing?
Yeah.
So, and really, when you really think about it, I mean, people do in their bedrooms what they want to do, I mean, there's a couple things that I like that I would not say on this show. Most everything I'll say.
Oh, my... That's true.
Look at Drew. He wants to know, don't you?
I really don't want to know. I'm afraid you might tell us. That's really what's actually scaring me. And what's even scarier is I'm wondering, forget it.
Well, Dr. Drew,
Yes, ma'am.
is there something psychologically wrong with him, maybe?
You know what? I can't tell you without being able to talk to him and know more about him.
Oh.
In this country, that is not a normal kind of conduct, but it doesn't necessarily...
In England.
Well, yeah, okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean there's pathology. It worries me. It's a sign that something could be up, but I can't tell you necessarily.
Oh.
But I must take issue with you for being worried about it, actually.
Well, but you got to remember, when somebody steps out of a cultural norm, it's just a sign that something might be wrong. Not necessarily at all. And I'm not putting a value judgment on it either. I'm really not. She's asking, is he okay? And I'm saying, I really can't tell you.
Mhm.
I really can't. Probably is.
Oh, is that a problem?
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to tell you, Dr. Drew, that I think you're doing a really great service for everybody.
Well, appreciate it. We're trying.
What about me, Candace?
Oh, and I just wanted to say, poor man, that I saw you on the news,
Yeah.
and I think you are really sexy.
Oh, Candace, baby.
I'm serious. I mean, I hear people talk about you and just the way you express yourself, and you think, God, this guy is probably like a total, and I saw you, and I really think you're hot, poor man. I am serious.
Candace, you know, we can discuss this further because right now I'm extremely single, and
And Candace, insofar as the men you choose, do you sort of see something of potential there in poor man like your present boyfriend?
Yeah, but I think people underestimate poor man too because, you know, he seems like
I don't think she picked up what I was asking.
well, I don't know, but
you know, I could tell, like, you know, Brian's in here going, "This is the greatest radio show I've ever
I
done."
like it.
Anyway, thanks for your call.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on next to, this is a guy who called the other day. It's Michael, 14 from Glendale. Michael.
He's listening to the radio.
Michael, turn down your radio with a 7-second FCC delay.
Okay.
Okay, turn it down, Michael.
All right. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, hey, listen, you're on Loveline with the legendary Brian Eno, one of the great producers of our time, and who's
Who now
also
has added another feather to his
Brian.
reputation, no doubt.
who likes to dress like a woman. He's here in
You
studio.
see, that'll be with me forever now.
Anyway, well, what you were the guy who was too embarrassed to buy condoms, right?
Exactly. That was me. Well, poor man.
Yeah.
Listen, I was thinking about it like last night. I was thinking, well, maybe I should do it live.
Buy the condoms live?
Yeah, I mean, but I'd have to do it like maybe 2 days later because
Dude,
like
you-
Raji that works down at the 7-Eleven,
Yes.
he's not too nice about things there. So.
Oh, listen, the guys at those mini markets will sell anybody condoms.
You know what? Listen, your call kind of disturbed me the other night because we were fighting with you. I was like having two poor men in the studio
Was that when
night.
Judy Tenuto
Yeah,
was there?
Judy was here with her accordion. And,
Oh God, man, she is just annoying.
well, she's funny, and but I think that we need to be able to discuss with people what it's like to purchase these things. I mean, here we are advocating their use, and yet there may be a barrier just at the very level of even acquiring them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you guys have trouble buying them, let's talk about it. Let's figure out ways that you guys can do this
Do you know
without
what we
being
should
embarrassing.
do? Why don't we call a 7-Eleven and ask, you know, why don't we ask him whether or not he would sell condoms to a 14-year-old?
Of course they would. They probably would encourage them to come down and make their sales.
Yeah, but honestly, there's this one guy that works down there. I mean, he's really an a-hole.
Yeah, but now that you're concerned that somebody's going to see you, right?
Exactly.
Or that you're going to see this person again and again. That somebody in your, and that's why I was saying, get out of the area, get out of your vicinity, and do it somewhere nearby.
See, but I don't see why he should be ashamed. Go in and buy them and be proud, you know?
Yeah.
That's harder to do, though. I understand why he's embarrassed about it. And can't you get the mail order here? You can in
Mail
England.
order?
It's a good question.
Yes, you can.
But see, he's concerned about hiding it from his parents.
Yeah, I know, I mean-
he lives at home.
I see. Yes. Can't he get them delivered to another address? I mean, in Ireland, where the sale of condoms is technically illegal.
Illegal?
Yes.
You're kidding.
Why?
Because it's a form of birth control which is forbidden by the Catholic religion. So all forms of contraception are illegal in Ireland and
Yeah,
can't be sold.
You can't even be used as a health aid to prevent disease.
Well, they're having a real crisis now in Ireland because on the one hand people are encouraging that, but you can't buy them in stores. So they're generally imported mail order from England. People just write off for them.
I heard about that, just like with the abortion, right?
That's right, yes. Yeah, it's a real problem now in Ireland, all of this.
Isn't you two from Ireland?
Mm-hmm. You two recently made a lot of publicity advocating the open sale of condoms in Ireland for this reason, that, you know, people have to write away to London to get them, and of course you don't always have that long to wait.
And what else is really bizarre about that country, isn't the drinking age like 14 in Ireland, or really young?
I should think, in effect, the drinking age is about 1, actually.
Really?
Anyone can drink.
Is it well known they have a drinking problem over there? Not culturally so much as biologically. I mean, I'd like to put it this way. I work in a treatment center, and I've seen so much alcoholism in Irish people. It's amazing.
There's certainly a big cultural tradition of drinking anyway, yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
This is Poor Man talking. Go in there and just swagger in and buy the condom. Screw it. You know, after the first time, you'll get used to it.
Okay.
Do it, man. You know, you can do it.
You want to do it live, though?
Well, how are we going to do it live? Are you going to go to the 7-Eleven right now?
No, not right now. Raji's there today.
Yeah, we'll do it live sometime. You just call us back from a 7-Eleven sometime, okay?
All right.
Okay, bye, dude.
Bye.
Okay, let's go next to, you want to do a drug thing since we're talking about drugs?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm actually asking you if we can do a drug
I know,
call.
I'm shocked.
Okay, let's go to LA1. This is, or actually, let's do this first because we have the hotline tied up.
I've got to answer this page. You better do this one first.
All right. This is Clifford, 22 from Hollywood. Clifford?
Dr. Drew, could you read that article on ecstasy so I could tape it and play it for one of my friends? Because no matter what I say, he keeps on insisting that ecstasy doesn't hurt him.
Okay.
Do you know much about ecstasy, Brian?
I know that it's quite dangerous, yeah.
The mood-altering drug MDMA, commonly known as ecstasy, is highly toxic and has caused at least 7 deaths in Britain. According to a study published in today's issue of The Lancet, it's a British medical journal, ecstasy is widely misrepresented as being safe. Study indicated that the deaths and most cases of serious mental and physical harm were of young people who took MDMA at parties or dance clubs. Okay?
Yeah.
Then it goes on to discuss the history of the drug and whatnot. They talk about the fact that in the U.S. there have been several deaths, quote, has been blamed for several U.S. deaths most from irregular heartbeats. In other words, it can induce cardiac arrhythmias just the way cocaine can and amphetamines. Okay?
And Brian, I'm looking forward to the new CD, but I just picked up my favorite old album of yours, Hats Off to Bigfoot.
You are.
Bigfoot.
Well,
is that you, Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Stay.
Dude, how do you do it, man? You're brilliant.
I got on Larry King and talked to Bill Cosby.
Did you really? And then you said you were Bigfoot?
Yeah.
You know where you've got to mention the Loveline name. We don't want to mention his name and give him any more publicity, but you know where you have to go, right?
I thought you needed me as a consultant to handle these problems.
That's a good idea.
Right. You know what, though? I fully respect you. I get this guy, he calls in with fake problems and is so good at it. Like this thing is fake, what he's doing right now.
How do you get through so well, so frequently?
It's the one thing in my life that I can do well.
Dude, you know where you've got to get through and be singing that Loveline jingle is Bigfoot.
I do.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? When I saw you on Poor Man on Two Moon Junction the other day, I was on a couple nights ago.
It's like some sleazy movie, right?
When you were playing golf or some...
Yeah, I was in a golf
so bizarre.
thing.
And you, in your old hairy fat days, did kind of resemble a abominable snowman or something. I thought about Bigfoot when I was watching that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's very
exciting.
special.
Very exciting. Glad I brought that up. Thank you, Poor Man.
One of my 3-second movie roles. Hey, dude.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you? But you're brilliant, and a lot of people talk about you too. People that talk to me, they mention you. Like you're a legend already on Loveline.
Oh, it's good to know.
Maybe he should come up here. We'll have Bigfoot on some night.
No, but Bigfoot we should never know who he is.
That's true.
What if I come in a disguise?
Yeah, you could come up here. Seriously, if you want to.
In a disguise?
Yeah.
Then we won't know you're Bigfoot.
He'll be here as Lewis.
Yeah, you can be a Lewis. Anyway, thanks a lot,
When
man.
should I come up?
We'll put you on hold. You can talk to the producer.
Great.
See, I think he wants to be a star now and blow the Bigfoot cover, don't you?
Well, whatever.
Anyway, if you're just tuning into Loveline, Brian Eno is in here. He has a new CD. We're going to play it here in a minute. And so, have you been mostly doing producing for like the last several years, or have you?
No, I don't. I guess I only spend about 10% of my time producing, something like that.
And mostly it's your own music that you constantly work on. Because I know that at K-Rock, I don't think we've seen new music from you in a while.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of different things. I do a lot of lecturing, and consulting of various kinds, bit of producing. I do a lot of video work as well, installations and so on.
What new bands that are coming out today do you like? Who are some of the new ones that you think are good?
How new?
Well, yeah, that's right. I would say within the last year, maybe. Why don't we say the last 3 years? Give me a little more to work with.
Well, I'm very keen on My Bloody Valentine. Have you heard them over
yeah,
here?
we played them on K-Rock, yeah.
Yeah, particularly that song Soon. I think that's a great pointer forward to the future of music. I like Dove. That's an interesting band.
Yeah, don't know that one.
Yeah, they're not very well known yet in England either. I think they're promising.
What about, this Lollapalooza concert that's coming up next week? Are you familiar with that?
I've only read about it, yeah.
Yeah, do you like some of those bands? Is that your...
I don't know most of them.
Really?
The only one I know is, I've forgotten what they're called.
The Chili Peppers?
Oh, yes, well, of course I know them, yeah.
Right.
But they're not a new band.
Maybe
really,
it's
are they?
Lush. Do you know that?
Oh, yes, Lush.
Right. They've been on this show before.
No, you invite me to the party.
Enough to go around.
Dude, you're a stud, man. The only thing, you know what I would worry about though is the disease factor. That's the one thing that'll keep you not doing it.
But I'll tell you the other thing that I think is, apart from the disease factor, there's another thing which I think gets very wearing after a while, is having so many connections to people that you really don't want to have. So many sort of emotional entanglements.
I'm sure he ends up hurting a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right.
I already understand all that. That's another problem, you know.
It gets very sticky, you know, when you keep bumping into people and you've sort of vaguely had a relationship with them and they probably expected more from it than they ended up getting because your heart was somewhere else, and then you're constantly meeting people and trying to avoid meeting them, even worse. I think that's the most off-putting thing about it.
So I should just not be as friendly and just stop, just stay mellow at parties and stuff and...
Yeah, be aloof.
Be aloof?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's what I needed.
I don't think this guy's an aloof guy, though. He's just kind of a fun-loving beer...
you just gotta go out and have a good time, you know?
I bet you go out, get a nice buzz on, see a hot-looking babe, and then you're thinking with the other head, huh?
There you go. There you go. Thinking with the wrong heads.
All right, thanks, man.
Hey, can I ask you just one question?
Sure.
What's a jobby?
Do you know what doing a jobby is, Brian?
Yeah.
No, don't know
I
that.
was listening to you last night, and I couldn't figure out what a jobby was.
Dude, we actually have a Pourwear shirt that shows this function.
Really?
It's taking a dump.
So,
It's a guy taking a dump.
it's a guy taking a dump?
Or somebody taking a dump is doing a jobby.
Uh-huh.
It's a Scottish expression we learned from, was it the Soup Dragons or something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's your new expression.
Hey, I'm using it now. Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to the hotline. Hi, who's this?
This is John.
John, how old are you?
I'm 15.
And you're calling from where?
Pandora.
Okay, and what's your love problem? You're on with Brian Eno.
Oh, I am?
Yeah, on 106.7 K-Rock.
The poor man?
Yeah. And Dr. Drew is here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Joe, turn it down. Yeah, I found my friend in a homosexual act, and I don't know.
What was he doing?
He was on top of another guy.
Were they naked?
Yeah, but, yeah.
Doggy style?
Yep. I didn't get to see a whole lot. I kind of walked out, but...
So you want to know how to deal with your buddy?
Yeah.
Brian, you have any suggestions here on this one?
Well, why was it? Was the problem that you were embarrassed by it, or that they were embarrassed by it, or what?
I don't know. They just keep on bringing it up, and I don't keep on talking to me.
In what context do they bring it up?
Well, they've been asking stuff.
Like what? Like, let's talk about this. We're embarrassed. We need to get this out in the open. Is that the context?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you feel when they try to do it? Talk about it.
Well, I just feel like getting out of there. I'm not talking to them. I don't do that kind of stuff. But
Do you feel that they're putting pressure on you to become part of it, and you don't want to?
I definitely don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there pressure? Do you think they might put that pressure, or are they actually pressuring you to be part of it? To be part of it, not just to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you think if you just say to them, look, that's your scene, you do it, I don't want to be part of it, do you think that would either break the relationship or you couldn't do it for some reason or other?
Well, I think it might break up the relationship, but right now I really don't care about the relationship.
Well, continuing in the present light is going to ruin the relationship too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you continue the way you're going, you're going to begin avoiding them, and that's going to be into the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should discuss it with them. Tell them what your feelings are. Set your boundaries firmly. And if it doesn't work out, well, it's not going to work out this way either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, poor man.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that you guys, the music's pretty out of there, but you guys at K-Rock, the music's pretty messed up, but you guys are cool. Dr. Drew, poor man.
You don't like the music?
No, I like the Metallica, Guns N' Roses stuff.
Really? You're more into the metal?
Yeah, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen.
Do you know something that's weird about Zeppelin is
They like our tone.
when I was younger and you know, being that I am, you know, a little older than you at 29, You know, I kind of, heard Zeppelin a lot, and I honestly feel if I hear Stairway to Heaven another time, I'm going to slash my wrist. But I know a lot of people really like the classics rock music. I mean, a lot of people do like you do. And that's cool. Because, there's all sorts of music, right, Brian? I mean, so that's no problem. But thanks for listening to Loveline, and try to give our music a chance, too. Just check it out, from time to time.
Yeah, I listen to Morrissey sometimes. But...
Do you know Morrissey, Brian?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's he like? Just a guy?
Yeah, it's very hard when someone says what's someone like, really,
right?
Because most people are pretty much like each other, unless you go into details about them.
Right. Have you produced ever for him?
No, he asked me to produce his last record, but I was busy on something else and didn't want to.
Really? That would have been good. I mean, that's a real honor too, because I think he's one of our hottest bands right now, also.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But like I said, producing is something I do quite occasionally and very selectively. Mm-hmm. I want to be sure that. I do it for selfish reasons. It's because I see someone who's making some kind of experiment that I want to see taken to a conclusion. So I produce the things that I would perhaps otherwise be doing.
Do most of the things that you produce become huge successes?
No, I produced quite a lot of things that didn't.
Oh. Okay.
I produced quite a lot of music that I knew from the beginning was not going to be hugely successful, but which I produced because I liked it anyway.
Okay, let's go to LA1. This is Dimitri, right? Dimitri. Hello. Dimitri. Hello, Dimitri. You have 5 seconds before we give you the dial tone. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello?
Oh, Dimitri, you made it.
How's it going?
Fine. You're on Loveline on KROQ-FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles.
Okay, I just heard you guys' show for the first time last night, and I really dug it. I just moved here from Boston with my girlfriend.
Right, it's changed your life, eh?
Okay.
Dimitri? What happened?
Hello?
Oh, what was that?
Are you there?
Yeah. What was that?
What was what?
What happened?
Nothing. I was just trying to, figure out the phone deal.
Okay, anyway, well, what's your love problem here?
Okay, well, me and my girlfriend just moved here from Boston, like about a week ago. And the deal is we're really, like, a lot alike. Like, we're probably too compatible in a lot of ways because we're both, like, into the same things. And while we're out here, we're both rock and roll singers, and we're, like, looking for jobs and stuff and bands and stuff, and we're into all the same things. And, like, my question is, like, how do I pursue my things without conflicting with hers,
I mean, what if you guys come into competition for specific jobs or activities?
Right, and for, like, band people and stuff, because, we're both into the same music and stuff, without, like, stepping on each other's feet, because she's been, like, supporting me for the past 2 years when we were in Boston, because there were no jobs there and stuff, and now I'm here and I'm really trying to hustle to, like, get a job and stuff, but I don't want to, like, shut her out of going to places and, looking for people for bands and stuff, like step on her toes because,
I don't quite understand the problem, actually.
I think he's afraid that there's going to be resentment if somebody gets a job over the other person.
Right.
Let's say he finds a job he wants and she gets it.
We're both, like, in search of the same things, basically,
I think you ought to both go for whatever, and since you guys are together, if either of you get a job, whichever job, you should both be happy for one
should
another.
Benefit both of you.
Right, it should any job should benefit both of you.
But they're both musicians, right?
Right.
So what would you say as a musician? What could you tell them as,
What about going for jobs?
Yeah.
It's terribly difficult, I must say. I've only ever once been in a situation where I was auditioning people,
right.
And I found it heartbreaking because it's so difficult to say no to people.
Right.
So one thing you might do when you're going for jobs is have some sympathy for the people you're asking for the job and realize that it's quite hard for them as well. And because that kind of understanding always pays off, I think. Sometimes people come up and expect to be paid attention to, not realizing that 45 other people that day have expected the same thing. And when someone comes along with a certain generosity of spirit, that immediately puts them 5 steps up the ladder straight away. You think, right, here's someone who understands the other side of the picture as well.
Right.
But as regards your problem with, I don't really see that as a problem, I'm afraid. I think
Well, it's just really hard sometimes because we're both like so much alike, you know. We're both into like the same kind of music and everything. Like I would think to pursue, like she would already be thinking to pursue, and like
But this I would have thought you'd celebrate this.
We do normally.
But you know what? I can see where he's coming from, because maybe it'd make you a little jealous if she got a job and here you're struggling for the same thing, right?
Yeah, kind of. You know. I mean, I'm supportive. I want her to win too. You know what I mean? And I'd almost have her win before me some of the time. But the thing is, like, we both have to win, you know. It's just really hard and, you know, scary, like, you know, trying to fulfill our creative destinies out here together. And, like, I don't want to step on her feet and stuff, you know what I mean?
Why don't you do the opposite then, which is to really actively cooperate with each other? I mean, sit down and say, okay, this 2 weeks we're both going to work on you.
Right.
And the next 2 weeks we're both going to work on me.
Right.
Something like that, you know.
That's what we're struggling to do.
Yeah, make a strategy of it.
Either that or you guys should get in the same band.
Yeah, well, we're both rock and roll singers, you know.
Really? What type of music?
Well, we're really into, like, 77 punk, like the Dead Boys and Bowie and, you know, the old Stooges stuff. You know, old punk rock stuff, you know. Like 3 chords and a grudge music with, like, smart lyrics and stuff.
Leaving.
Yeah, like Leaving and Fear?
I'm not so much into Fear. Like, not so much the Southern California, like, early 80s stuff. More like, I don't know, I'm more into, for some reason, like, drawn to, like, the 70s stuff.
Are you familiar with all that stuff, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Brian's been a big, you know, was like a glam punk rock pioneer, kind of, you know.
Yeah, I know about that.
I just wanted to see, like, you know, what you guys thought. Because I really enjoyed the show last night. I think I'm addicted. I only heard it one night.
Oh, you heard it with Greg Brady last night.
It was so cool. That was amazingly cool.
Yeah. Hey, it's cool tonight with Brian.
Yeah, it's great. I was so shocked. You got Greg Brady one night and Brian Eno the next night. That's pretty eclectic guess.
Right. They pay us such a lot. We can't resist it.
Right.
Thousands of dollars.
Right, and they pay us too.
I really appreciate the sincerity with, you know, even though Poor Man's kind of like, you know, the loose spirit, as you referred to yourself earlier. I really appreciate, like, the sincerity that Dr. Drew and you guys, you know, are trying to help people. Like, I mean, it's entertaining, obviously, but I appreciate that you guys are kind of sincere and trying to, like, you know, help all these wackos that are listening to the radio at night, all these lonely souls, you know, iron their stuff out.
It's just people. It's what's going on out there.
It's groovy.
Okay.
Hey, take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye. I'm going to take a couple calls here. This is Matt on Valley 2. Are you there, Matt?
Matt is 15.
Hang on here.
Here.
Matt? What is the problem with our phones?
Hello?
Matt,
Hi.
you're on Loveline on 106.7 K-Rock with the amazing Brian Eno.
Yeah.
Say
how
hi.
you guys doing?
What can we do for you?
Yeah, I have a question about marijuana.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah. How long does it stay in your system?
It can actually stay in your system for months to years. It tends to store in fat tissue, and depending on how long you've been using, it can stay around for quite some time. In general, the longest I ever see it in somebody's urine, if that's what you're asking me,
Yeah.
about 2 weeks. And it will go up in concentration if you're physically active. Again, you'll mobilize fat, and you'll mobilize the marijuana from the fat tissue.
Oh, really?
Generally, it's out in about 4 or 5 days, but I've seen it up to 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And I just want to say that you guys are great. I don't listen to K-Rock besides Lovelines. I listen to, like, Metallica and other stuff. And, like, when you had Megadeth on there and stuff, I thought that was pretty cool.
That was nice, wasn't it? He was a very good guest. All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And then another question along the same lines. Kelly Chatsworth, age 19. Kelly?
Hi.
Go ahead.
Okay, I have 3 questions.
3 questions. Go
Okay,
ahead.
no, but they're really quick. Okay, the first one is that in, like, during Memorial Day weekend?
Mm-hmm. You mean Labor Day weekend?
No, Memorial.
In the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I took my first hit of pot,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if my hit was if I inhaled too deeply or what, but after I blew out, I almost, like, passed out.
You coughed a lot?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt, like, very high, and I almost passed out. And I was wondering, is that normal?
No, that's not normal, and it probably is more the effect of the smoke and the coughing than the pot itself.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
so,
people can get that same effect from smoking cigarettes, too.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you got a double impact, really, from smoke and from pot.
Oh, we got a marijuana call?
Yeah. Go ahead. What's you have two more.
And my brother and I have a bet on this.
All right.
Okay, my brother is 29 years old, and he's been smoking pot since he was in 6th grade.
He's my age, huh?
Yeah, but you're older, right?
Right.
Okay, so anyways, he said he wants to get married, and he said when he gets married and he wants to have children, that he'll stop smoking pot for a year, and it'll be okay after that. But I told him, you've been smoking pot for so long, I don't think it would matter. Now, would it?
It would. I don't think it would matter in what respect.
Like.
In terms of his fertility.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec.
I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints at night. I smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright.
Let me get the question straight. You're asking,
Brian, have you ever heard that song?
Mm-mm. I don't know it.
Would it impact on his fertility, or would it impact on his risk for affecting the child?
Both.
Okay, it doesn't appear that the men smoking pot necessarily will cause any damage to the children. It may affect their fertility, however. Okay, and the duration of his abuse suggests that he's going to get into some pretty serious trouble in the upcoming future, both with mood problems, concentrating difficulty, ability to motivate. These sorts of things do start to come up after you've been smoking 10 or more years. And be aware that if he stops, there's a very high likelihood of profound depression in the first 6 months of marijuana abstinence. Okay? Now, he should stop for a year if he's going to try to have children, obviously, to diminish any potential risk and also enhance his fertility.
I know some guys that smoke so much that have had kids and there's no problem at all.
I'm not telling you, I'm saying there really appears not to be.
Okay,
It affects their fertility, and that some of the sperm are probably damaged so badly that they cannot achieve conception.
So they'd be sterile.
But there's enough of the little guys.
But there's enough of the guys that you could, if you're otherwise okay, you probably would be all right.
Do you have anything to say about marijuana, Brian?
Well, at the risk of sounding reactionary, I'm not a big supporter of drug taking in general. And I know, of course, being in the music business, I know a lot of people who've taken dope for a very long time, and I think it does leave them confused. And
you can see the changes, can't you?
Yes, I think it's long-term use is very bad, just as long-term use of alcohol is. I'm not doctrinaire about it. I can see it's fine to do it now and again, but people who use it all the time and for a long time just start being harder to talk to. It's hard for them to concentrate. Their mind doesn't stay in one place for very long.
And clearly these changes are the result of damage that is permanent. They improve somewhat when they stop, but to some extent there always is permanent changes. There's always a permanent change. And alcohol is just one thing that alcohol shares with hallucinogens is those are the only 2 categories of drugs that destroy brain commonly and regularly. And it's a shame. I hate to see hallucinogens defended on the grounds that alcohol is legal. I mean, alcohol is a horrible problem. Why would we want to defend one problem with another problem? It just doesn't make sense to me.
I like beer.
It's fine. You can drink beer. You're not an alcoholic, though. Okay, and you can drink, and it's going to be okay. You don't have alcoholism in your family. But you could hurt yourself with it if you overdid it. But you're not likely to be an alcoholic.
Okay, well, I see what you're saying. So,
she's got one. What was your third question?
Okay, my other question is for me, and thing is, okay, I saw this guy, and I think he's attractive. And I want to ask him out, but I don't know how guys feel about guys asking girls out. I mean...
Girls asking guys out, you mean?
Yeah.
It's the best. It's hot.
Are you sure?
Totally hot. You know what? I really think more women should ask guys out because... I'll tell you something. A lot of times if a guy sees like a really attractive girl, they're afraid. They're afraid that, I couldn't get a girl that was this good looking.
But see, with this guy, I think he's just like too hyped up about blondes with big breasts. And see, I'm not blonde.
You want to ask the poor man out?
Yeah, how'd you know? Poor man, I want to ask you out to dinner on October 3rd.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Do I know who you are?
No, but I know people who you know.
Really? Who do you know that I know?
I don't want to say.
Say their first name.
No.
Why?
Because they'll probably be listening.
Now, poor man, here you built her up and told her how cool it is.
I'll go out with her. I'll do that. I'll go out to dinner. Why October 3rd? What's October 3rd?
Well, because I'm leaving for a couple of weeks and then I'll won't be back.
She doesn't want anybody to see her after she's dated you. She's going to hide out.
Hey, I'm into it.
Well, but see, I hear girls, say, "Well, I like you and I think you're cute," but do you really go out with them?
You know what's weird? I honestly, this is what I do, and I'm sure we're getting faxes where they're going, "Poor man, take more calls, please. Don't talk." And
I'm sorry.
No. People are saying that you're talking. Take more calls. BS later. That's what it says in this fax. I'm reading these, Jody and Billy, and whoever else faxes. No, what I was going to say is I usually go home because this show ends so late. Most people are in bed, so I watch Tom Vu on TV. He's the.
Oh yeah, that Chinese guy.
Right, the guy goes, you do what I do. You make millions, have beautiful girls, nice yacht. Have you ever seen these? Oh, dude, he's the best. He is. We got to get him on Loveline. You know who he is, right? Hello?
Yes, I do. He goes, "I have more expensive smoker. You can get smoker just like us. You call this number, you could be rich just like me."
Right. and he's sitting there with huge-chested women, And then
Hey, you're making this girl feel insecure again.
No, but who cares? I mean, it's just so funny that this guy, gets. I mean, it must work.
Okay, so we all witnessed that he committed to this date on October 3rd. What day of the week is that?
That's a Saturday.
Perfect.
I could do it on that day.
Really?
I'll put you on hold. I'll talk to you off the air, and I'll definitely do it.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Wait a minute, wait.
How old are you, though?
I'm 19.
Oh, phew. Okay.
What's your name again? What was the name you gave us?
Kelly.
We're going to try to find the number here.
So we guess you're a brunette, right?
Well, yeah.
And small-breasted.
Well, not that small.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry, poor man. Jeez.
No, I'm psyched. I don't care what you look like. I think it's nice, and I will definitely take you up on it. So you got to hold on a few minutes until our next commercial break, okay?
Cool, I will.
Okay. And where do you live, by the way?
Well, I said I live in Chatsworth.
Where do you live?
I said I live in Chatsworth.
Where do you live?
Where do you honestly live?
Sylmar.
Sylmar?
Yeah.
So that's like the deep San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, sort of.
That'll be
Magic
good.
Mountain.
No, it's not near Magic Mountain.
It's like 20 minutes away from Magic.
Oh, God, that's far.
Yeah.
Well, I come to the valley. Well,
we'll figure it out. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Great.
Okay, I'll definitely do that though. You listen to this, hey poor man. I think this is another fax. I'm just BSing a little bit, and we'll get to another call. I think replaying the Phyllis Diller show is an awesome idea. We should, Scott. All 19 minutes. Anything to hear that old bag talk again. She is the worst guest I think you ever had on Loveline. Also, Dr. Drew, you should really lighten up on poor man. He's my hero. Signed, Alex M. What is this? Oh, let Brian
pick some calls.
Pick some calls or songs? Okay. All right, this is Yoshiko, 22 from L.A. on LA1. Yoshiko.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to Loveline with Brian Eno on 106.
Wow, this is the most incredible honor to speak with Brian Eno.
Thank you.
Well, I just really called up to share a story with you. I've been going out with my boyfriend for 3 years, and we've had the most wonderful relationship, and we met because of you. You don't know either one of us, but I used to work at the ABC Entertainment Center, and I worked in a card shop, and one of his co-workers came in with him one day, and I was doing something really menial, like blowing up balloons. And his friend asked me...
Always a very attractive activity.
Very exciting, isn't it? So I was blowing up these balloons, and he said, "Oh, would you like to work for ABC doing this?" And I said, "Well, only if I could listen to Brian Eno." And Rob, who's now my boyfriend, just was really astounded. So he later that day asked me out to lunch, but what I found out about 2 weeks later was that he had gone out to lunch with some of his friends, and he had told them that, he'd been in other relationships, and, they weren't really that fulfilling, and that they would have to say a key word that would prove to him that they had, sort of the same interests and, I guess, the same type of vision. And the key words were Brian Eno.
So basically, when you guys make love, do you put on Brian's songs?
Actually, we have.
Oh, really?
Brian,
Apollo's
which
a great
one?
album for that.
Apollo, yes, I think you're right. You're dead right about that. Especially Deep Blue Day. I think that's a very erotic track.
And believe it or not, St. Tom also.
Aha. I never tried that one.
Brian, that's
so I
cool.
have
That's
a couple
cool.
of other questions too. Are the oblique strategies going to be available?
I think there are some actually available.
Oh, really?
Yes. The best thing I can. What's the best way for her to get hold of those?
Warner's Press Department.
Call Warner's Press Department. How about that?
What album is this?
It's no, it's a pack of cards I made, Oracle cards.
Are you serious? You did that?
Yeah. Wow. Oblique strategies, they're called. Yes, if you call the Warner Press office, they'll tell you how to get hold of some.
It's Warner in Burbank, right?
Yes.
So
information.
Yes, they'll pass the letter on to Opal Information, which is our company.
Right. So basically, like all thousands of you that would like these cards, you call Warner Brothers tomorrow, and
well, there aren't thousands of them. There's only a few left.
I want to get some. I want to get some of those cards. Those sound hot.
Hey, talk to the man here.
Dude, you've done a lot of stuff. That's hot. Anyway, so thanks to Brian, you and your boyfriend are together, huh?
Yes, and it's been really wonderful. And you're really, I guess, the best representative of a Renaissance man in the 20th century.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very high praise.
As opposed to me, right?
Well, you're great too.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for your call.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for the
very
story.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, we should play Fractal Zoom now. Okay.
Okay.
This one, where did the CD go?
It's probably still in there, is it?
Let's see. Now, there's the key.
Still
is
in
it?
there.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. Is
Yeah,
it?
it is. That's the one.
Oh, this one right here. What version of Fractal Zoom?
Play the first one.
The first one. Okay. This is Fractal Zoom from Brian Eno. This is brand new, right? Did it just come
I
out?
can't remember which the first one is. Can I have a look at the cover again?
Yeah, absolutely. There are there's 11 versions of this song if you want the CD single. And
Yeah, first one will be fine, I think. Yes.
It's Brian Eno on 106.7 K-Rock KROQ on Loveline. He's in the studio.
Hello, unfortunately I've been left in the studio on my own, so here I am in a completely empty studio. Everyone
Brian,
else
let's
has
just
gone
take
after-
over the show
Oh,
here.
This is the, who are you? The
Producer,
producer,
yeah,
right, yes,
Ann.
so good. Well, the two of us are together here, and
And we don't know where poor man it. You guys want to play some more music?
Yeah,
You could give
definitely.
this address for the.
well, why don't we take some calls?